my friends. Just making some notes for all of you. So today, New York and Asia. Sorry, London and New York. A session inverse is when a session deliberately moves in the opposite direction, opposing direction of the previous session to rebalance the liquidity and complete the auction cycle. Very simple, very informative. Now markets are constantly seeking balance. Okay, so if Asia drives up, we can see over here Asia drove up. Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean that London's gonna inverse completely. Okay, so it's not random. Okay, it's a very structured way of looking at how the market moves and balance itself. So don't get excited when you see a push because this is you guys can see a move from a move from 408 to 471. That's 900 pips in two candles. Okay, that 900 pip could potentially be presented via multiple blocks of candles. So here as an example, yeah, similar move, 900. Let's just round it up, 900 pips. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. So multiple, okay, multiple candles were allocated to print from A to B given the range of 900 pips. However, today, two candles, 900 pips. So it's all pretty much the same. Timing matters over here, obviously. So if Asia builds, that bullish range over here, as you can see, it will leave, okay, some sort of inefficiency, if you want to call it. But we can read all of this by going mechanical. And I'm showing you guys, if you look at the first low, breach 1 to the downside and breach 2, yeah, it becomes easy to look at the markets. And I've been saying it time and time again, and I'm also going to say it pretty much every single recording, is remove the FOMO, forget about predicting, forget about forecasting. You're not going to avoid it, but if I remind you gently on a daily basis, at least you'll have the edge to understand that it's totally okay to sit out from a session. For example, London here, London session was to sit out. Okay, New York is the main driver, really and truly. New York has always been the main driver. London session is mainly a session that will squeeze price action. I'm going to cover London sessions squeeze in a different recording. Okay. This was a failed inverse, Asia and London, simply because the upside breaches were pending. Okay. Look at London high, breach 1. We still need one more breach above the breach 1 in order for London's inventory to be resolved, and that's it. Not the bigger mistake here that you could ever get yourself into is telling yourself that every session needs to inverse. Not every single session needs to inverse. Okay, and this is a prime example here. Well, not just this session actually, but look at this continuation: Asia, London, New York continuation, and then we got New York and Asia inverse. Asia and London failed inverse. London and New York. Okay, so yeah, let's move on. I'm gonna cover some of the, I would call it, powerful tooling systems. Okay, I am covering the delta, which which in itself is the execution sort of tier 1 way of like getting yourself some capital and deploying it. Delta, that's the one. Okay, if you have some capital, you want to deploy it, there, in other avenues, we have the 1.18 FIB. Look, Asia high, Asia low, price breaks the 1.18 straight, money comes out. Let's remove this. Okay, money comes out straight from 1.27. Powerful tooling system. So I've got multiple, we have the first low, which in itself is powerful. We have the first high, which in itself is also powerful. Okay, then we have the delta candle, which is also powerful. We have the session to session inverses, which is another ace underneath my sleeve. Then we have session to session continuation, which is also another powerful tooling system. So I have multiple powerful tooling systems to present to all of you. Okay, and the footprint charts on the other hand, which I'm going to go over for all of you. So you guys can see now that this higher operational league, it rewards you if you're patient. I'm gonna leave it there and let's catch on and let's catch up sooner or later, maybe tomorrow or even tonight, Asia, who knows. It all just depends on what happens here. We collect this piece of information and we use it to our advantage, as always, and we move on discreetly. I'm gonna see you guys in the next recording.